what's up you guys, it's Sammy, and for this week's Friday video, it is a little bit different than my normal tutorials or anything like that. It's kind of an advice video. Originally I wanted to post this video and film this video when back to school was more predominant, but I did not because I am just now a senior. I'm not going into college or anything like that, so I was kind of saving this video for when I graduate or anything like that. But I have had a stressful kind of senior involved week, and I said screw it and wanted to sit down and kind of get it all out there with kind of some advice for you guys to just kind of spend this week and make it a little bit less stressful. And so that's what I'm doing. I really hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you have not already, please don't forget to subscribe before you go and leave a like and a comment down there. And I really hope you guys enjoyed this video. Let's get into it. Alright, so a little bit of my high school background. It is a tad bit different than the usual story. My school is a preparatory and a parent choice school. So basically what that means, it is smack dab in the middle between public and private school. So basically we wear uniforms, we have to apply to get into the school, we have to keep a certain GPA, we get on academic probation, stuff like that. So along with being a parent choice and all of that, the school is 7th through 12th grade, so that means that I will have been at this school when I graduate for 5.5 years. For most people, it is 6 years, but I had came into the school halfway through my 7th grade year. I kind of just consider it 6 years because it feels that long, but honestly, if I'm being completely 100% honest, I've only been there for 5.5, if you guys were wondering. And, honestly, it was one of the best choices that I made to switch into this school. When I got the notification that second semester, my 7th grade year, I could switch, I jumped on the opportunity, and I am so happy that I did because I love this school now. As I go through, you guys probably won't think that, but just know that I do love this school, and I think that it has made me so prepared for going into college and all of that, and obviously I would hope it was. It's literally called preparatory, and so yeah, so I really just wanted to get that out there before and explain a little bit about what the high school's like. So along with being a 7th through 12th and being a preparatory and all of that, with that comes very rigorous kind of pushing towards college, and every teacher in class is kind of, well, when you're in college it's this, or oh, in college this is what it'll be like, or oh, in college, when you get this type of work, we can't complain, or something like that. And so basically, as a 7th grader, you would think that would scare me, but me personally, I am always been very driven. I've always wanted certain things, and I've always planned for college, and I kind of put that towards me just being a determined person, but also for those of you guys who've been watching for a while, you've seen and met my sister, and she is 3.5 years older than me, but 4 grade levels older than me. So basically, when I was going into high school, she was graduating. So when I was in 7th and 8th grade, I saw her going through all of the college process, and so that kind of pushed me to kind of do better and get ready for all of that and be prepared. And so I was never really afraid going into this school, like, oh, I'm gonna be so stressed, even though that does happen, but I was never afraid of it, if that makes sense. So that kind of leads me into tip number 1. Do not be afraid to be confident and be ready for college. When I came to this school, even it being a preparatory, a lot of the students that I met as me being a 7th grader, when obviously us being kind of considered nerds because of the school we go to, we always got on the topic of college, and me being so confident in whatever I wanted to do at that time or whatever college I wanted to go was a little bit odd, or me going into the college counselors and already talking about college as like an 8th grader was a little different. But the one tip I can give is just be confident in the fact that you really want something and that you're going for it, and don't let anybody kind of be like, why are you already looking at colleges? You're like 13 or 14 or in 8th grade or anything like that. Just kind of go with it, and in the long run, they're going to wish they did that because you're going to be more prepared in the end. Kind of going into tip number 2, you will change your mind so much, and that's kind of a college tip, and that's always something I hear college students tell me, and my sister tell me, and just anybody in my family. If you ask any of my family members, any of my friends, any of my teachers that I'm super close to, they will tell you the wide range of things that I have changed my mind in and wanted to do at some point. I think at one point I went from marine biologist to journalist, or I went to wanting to go from Stanford to UCI or anything like that. So you will change your mind a lot, and don't be afraid of that. There was a while in probably my 10th grade year where I was so stressed because I felt like I was changing my mind, and I felt like when I finally got to college, I wasn't going to know what I wanted to do. Now being an 11, or no, I'm a 12th grader. Oh my gosh. Now me being a senior, I have made up my mind and I'm very confident in it. There are still times where I think, am I doing the right major? Am I going into the right business? But usually something reassures me, and that's why I know that I'm going into the right thing, and you will just kind of know. I know that sounds very weird, and it sounds very like, oh, you'll just know, but like, I feel like that's, or at least with me in my experience, you will just kind of realize at some point that that's what you're supposed to do. I know that something very prevalent in a fear of going to high school is being judged or being nowadays bullied or anything like that, and I wanted to get one thing across in this video, and this was the main point that I made this video, not because it's affecting me at all right now, but just when I thought about this video originally, I knew I had to include something like this, and that is join whatever club you want, do whatever sport you want, just be your own person in a sense. I have always been that type of person. My parents raised me and my sister to be like that, and that is something that we've held to throughout all of that. If somebody thinks that you're doing something weird, either one, that person's insecure and wish they had the balls to do that, two, they are actually just being a jerk, and sometimes you have to shake that off and hope that that person comes around and is just a nice person. And three, they think that whatever you're thinking about doing is a little bit different, but honestly, let me tell you something about being something different. One, that looks fantastic on college. If you start some random club that nobody's ever heard of and they're just like, and you do it and you thrive in it and it grows, that looks so amazing on college applications. I cannot stress that enough. And two, go you for being different. That's what, I mean, none of us are the same, and I think that's just awesome. And so I just want to get that across. Do not let anybody stop you for doing something that you want to do in high school, because you have, for most of you have 4 years to kind of still be a kid, kind of get across any points to colleges that you want. And I know I'm talking a lot about college in this video, but I mean, honestly, if you get down to the brass tacks of it, high school is about getting into college. That is all it's about. It is not about going out and partying or having fun. Those things just come along with it, but in the brass tacks, it is getting to college. And I think that you need to take every opportunity to make that experience of getting to college fun and enjoyable, and that the fact that you did everything that you wanted to do and still succeeded in what you wanted to do. Another thing that I definitely want to get across in this video, I have not really had to deal with this because of my school, but I know that in public schools it is definitely a big thing. Do not be ashamed to study, do not be ashamed to be smart, do not be ashamed to literally just learn, if that makes sense. Even at my school, sometimes a lot of people will be like, oh, you've already finished that essay, or oh, you already did this while it's so ahead of you. Like, they'll try and kind of turn it on you. One, that is probably just them being upset at themselves for not already doing it, or that's just them being sad that they can't do it. And honestly, in the end, they're just hurting themselves if they go and copy it from somebody. If they go and do anything from like that, I honestly just feel like they're hindering themselves. So do not ever feel ashamed to go and do what you need to do to learn and to get the grade that you want, because in the end, you have nobody else to blame but yourself for getting that grade. That is something I also want to state. Please don't blame your teachers for getting your grades. There are so many people that I know who will be like, oh, this teacher gave me an F, or oh, this teacher gave me a C, or oh, I got a bad grade on this test because this teacher didn't teach me. I have been my own personal self. I have said that before, and sometimes I wish to take it back. Sometimes I feel that it was just me making an excuse, and please just don't make excuses for something that you've done. I feel that in the end, making excuses kind of just hinders yourself more, and if you own up to it, one, you will learn from it, hopefully, or two, you will move on and not just hold that grudge while going back to that teacher. I know I've said that about a teacher, and then I had them again the next year, and I felt so bad for it because I had them this next year and they taught better. And sometimes it's just the subject. Obviously, some subjects are harder than other subjects. I know, like, different subjects that I just completely don't get, and other subjects that I do get, and there's other people who are back and forth. And so that is something to take into consideration when you are kind of like making excuses. I know a lot of people who will take classes that aren't really their forte. Like this year I'm taking anatomy, and I'm majoring in business. Like those type of classes that like you wouldn't think make sense, but honestly it's one of my favorite classes so far this year. And so just like that, you can't make excuses, because sometimes I know I wanted to drop that class, but sometimes it ends up being great, and sometimes you can't make excuses, and sometimes you just have to own up to it. I feel like I'm getting really real in this video, but that's kind of what I wanted with it. I know this is a lot more intense and serious than my usual videos, but I really just wanted to get this out there, and kind of leading into why I made this video. The stress can be very real sometimes. And with my high school experience being very stressful because of the school I go to and because of all the classes I do take very rigorous classes as far as like I take AP classes. My load last year was really heavy. My load this year is pretty heavy. I started taking AP classes my 10th grade year. I started taking honors classes my 9th grade year, I think. I might have taken one, no, I think it was my 9th grade year. And so I've always kind of pushed myself for that, and in the end I feel it benefits me. I know a lot of people though who haven't done that, who have just taken, not the minimum, but taken like regular courses and are still so successful and still very college ready. And so if you're not somebody who can take AP classes, be able to own up to that, because you don't want to give yourself all of these hard classes and then end up failing in them and it looking bad. One thing that I want to stress so hard, like even a little bit more than the whole be yourself thing. No, it's not true. I really want to stress the be yourself thing. But one thing that I want to make sure that all of you remember is please, please, please get a strong support group. This is something that I have had my whole life because I have been blessed to have such an amazing family. But sometimes you need a support group outside of family, as like harsh or whatever that sounds like. Because even though my sister is my best friend and I tell her everything, sometimes you have to have somebody in that moment. And so I may tell my sister something, but I have to have my best friend there too, who's literally going through the same exact thing as me. Having your family be there is one thing, but having someone who is also applying to college or also taking that class and failing or also taking some course and hating it is very important. And so that's why I've been so blessed to have the support group that I have at my school. And so I strongly urge you to just really hold on to and grasp the good people in your life. Later on, I'm probably going to talk about drama and the fact that you will lose friends, and kind of just to move on from that. So this kind of contradicts each other a little bit, but I'm emphasizing the good friends. Keep the good friends around, because they will stay with you and they will support you and they will sit down and cry with you if you get an F, or sit down and tell you to get your crap together if you're just whining and making excuses. And that's what you need, and that's what everybody needs, and I feel like that is so important. So I really hope that you guys got that idea. One of the last things I definitely want to talk about is kind of high school drama. My experience with high school drama has been very up and down. This meaning that I have had some very drama-filled years and have had some great years with no drama, and it kind of just happens. And I have learned that, how do I put this into words? I have had some hard times with them, and honestly, even though I'm like sitting here and being like, don't let anybody like tell you what to do, don't like make excuses, don't do any of that. Obviously, I've done that myself. That's just me saying, oh, I've done that, please don't do that. And so like me sitting here saying that is, I don't want to sound hypocritical, because the high school drama has gotten to me and I've made excuses for like my schoolwork or anything like that because of high school drama. And so the only thing I can say about it is really just try and ignore it. Try and solve it. If it's a person in your life who is obviously very bad in your life, or like always causing drama, or just being a terrible person, if that is not somebody who is like detrimental to your life, I would say cut them off, as harsh as that sounds. I have definitely gained some really close friends. I've also lost a lot of really close friends. That whole thing where people are like, oh, well, you'll lose friends throughout your life, or you'll lose friends through high school, and you sit there as a 7th grader and you're like, no, this is my best friend now, we're gonna be best friends forever. That's not necessarily true. I hope it's true. I actually have been my best friend. I've been best friends with her since 9th grade, and I mean, we've stuck together through it all, and so that's just great. And so I'm not saying there aren't hard times, and I'm not saying it's impossible, but I'm just saying if you do lose a pretty close friend, don't freak out about it for too long, or if you do, try and cope with it. High school is definitely a time of change, and looking back now, me in 7th grade is, thank goodness, nothing like me in my senior year, and I couldn't be happier about it. We are still the same person, but we're just very mature now, and I'm talking about myself in the third person. That's weird. I am just more mature now, and so that's really great. And so that happens with people, and people grow apart. And so the one advice and tip that I can give you for that is just realize in the end that it's probably better you're not friends with them, as sad and as harsh as it may seem in the moment. Looking back, you will most likely be thankful, and you will probably be more successful for it. Alright, so lastly, in the end, as I mentioned, everything kind of comes down to college. Me being in my 12th grade year, we have already started to kind of stress about that. Like I said, I've kind of been stressing about that for a while, but now it's like here, and so it's even more. If I can give any advice, obviously I'm still barely starting it. Stay organized, go to teachers that you're close with and ask for help. And don't be afraid to apply to some random free college, because you never know where you'll end up. I know that I have had my mind set on Long Beach for a good while now, because they have my major. For those of you who don't know, I don't know if I've mentioned it before, I am majoring in fashion merchandising with a minor in marketing, hopefully, and that is a very hard major to find. And so with me, any opportunity to major in that is very huge, because a lot of colleges just have specifically marketing, but I'm going for the fashion part of it, so that's pretty hard to find. But I would never have thought to sit here and apply to colleges like Johnson & Wales University or any college like that, honestly, before they had sent me the free application. I didn't even know about them. Looking at it now, the college looks amazing and I'm applying, and so just kind of keep your mind open is the biggest tip that I have right now. And so I really hope that helps you guys a little bit if you're going through that. If you're a freshman watching this or anything below a senior, please study, please get good grades. Do not sit there in your senior year and regret a F or a C or whatever your ranking was at that time. Looking back now, I am very happy with myself because I worked so hard. There are things that I could have worked harder for, and I try not to regret them, but obviously everybody has some sort of regret. But I am so proud of myself to get to this point, and that's just how I would like all of you to feel once you're at this point. Very proud and I worked hard for this moment, and that's what I'm looking forward to. I cannot wait until March gets here, and I am sitting down looking at my acceptance letter from hopefully Long Beach and being so happy that it's here. And so that's why I made this video today, because I just wanted to kind of vent to you guys and talk to you guys about my high school experience. Overall, I've had such a blessed high school experience. I have mostly followed every tip that I just gave you guys. I've gone through a lot of ups and downs through college, oh gosh, I wish, through high school, and kind of just dealt with them, and I am now here. And honestly, I'm sure there was some drama in 9th grade year that I can't even remember now, and if I do, I just laugh at it now. And so just think of that when you're in the midst of everything. Picture yourself 2 years from that moment laughing back at it, hopefully with whatever friend you have at that moment, and just being over it. It's really the only thing that got me through some things, and so that's what I would just really suggest. And work hard and just do great, and I really hope you guys get to this point, and I know you guys all will. So yeah, that's what we're doing today. Alright, so that is the whole video. I know it was a little bit more serious than my usual videos, but and I was kind of yelling at the camera, but I really hope you guys enjoyed it, and I hope you liked this change of pace. I really wanted to film this video, mostly because of my week, but also just because I feel like this helps someone, and that's all I really want to do. And so I really hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you have not already, please don't forget to subscribe down below and leave a like and comment, and I will see you guys on Wednesday with another new video. Goodbye!